This is lesson 4.3 over rotations, and we have 3 different rotations that we're going to look at: 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees. And I wanted to show you a little trick on how we can come up with our rules if they're not given to us. So, our trick of the way to remember it. So I have my X and my Y axis, and I just have kind of a little smiley face here. That kind of looks creepy. In our little coordinate plane. So what we have is we have the positives and the positives, and then down here we have the negatives and the negatives when we go down or when we go left. So what we're going to do is if we rotate, again, we always kind of, if it doesn't say, we rotate counterclockwise. So let's go ahead and say we're going to rotate 90 degrees. And so if we go ahead and rotate 90 degrees, then we have our X and Y axis kind of flipping here. So when we go to graph something, we have our horizontal number first, which is going to be a negative Y, and we have a positive X for our vertical coordinates of that. Okay, so that's our rule when we rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. So now let's take a look at what happens when we go to 180. So we're going to rotate another 90. Now we're at 180, and it looks like we have a negative X, because again we want our moving left first before we go up or down. So to plot our smiley face, we go negative X and negative Y. Okay, and then for 270, we rotate, and we are at positive Y and negative X. And there is how you can get your rules without thinking too hard. You can draw your little picture and kind of rotate it. So again, you started off with your normal coordinates of, we have positive over here on the right, negative over here on the left, positive for up, negative for down, x-axis is horizontal, y-axis is vertical, and then I just put a smiley face in that first quadrant. And if you're one who is not a big fan of the rules, you can use patty paper and just go ahead and do the rotation on patty paper. Just make sure, like we've practiced, make sure that you trace your figure and your axes, and you trace the figure again on the back so you have a little bit of your lead to kind of transfer after you rotate it. So this one is going to be a rotation of 90. So our rule is going to be negative yx. So that means our x and y are going to switch, and then our y is going to change sign. So when I bring my y to the front, it's going to become a positive 4, and then I move my x just like it is. Don't change any signs on it. My 6 is going to move here because it's x, and then my negative 2 is going to change signs and be in the beginning. Negative 4 moving to the beginning, changing signs, and 7 as my y coordinate now. So I can go ahead and plot 4, 4, 2, 6, and 4, 7. And then connect. Let me move my y out of the way. And there it is, rotated 90 degrees. So either patty paper and or the rule, either is an option. This one would say, just says, what is the position of those buildings if it were rotated 180 degrees? So it would move it kind of over on this side. So they would form an arc.
an arc around the right side of the building. You could also kind of turn your paper and actually do the rotation just by turning your actual copy of your notes. And this one kind of got cut off, but what we are doing on this one is a 180-degree rotation. And we do have all the points here, so even though they got cut off, but rotate 180 degrees on this one. And here's our rule kind of printed up at the top for us. So if you want to try this one, go ahead and switch both the X sign and the Y sign, but leave the X and Y in their same position. And then check when you're ready. Double check that you switched both signs, and then it looks like this when it's been rotated 180 degrees. Please make sure to label your points in your picture and make sure you're using a straight edge. All right, so this one is a rotation of 270. So our rule is to switch X and Y and then make the X opposite sign. So X is going to go here in opposite sign, X is going to go here, opposite sign, X is going to go here, opposite sign. Y is going to now move to the beginning and it's going to keep its sign, not change. So J prime would be at 2, -2. K prime would be at 5, -4. L prime is going to be at 6, +1. And then we're going to connect. And there we are. So 270 all the way around there. So this one, go ahead and write out what are the coordinates of A prime, B prime, and C prime, and D prime. And then we're going to take a look and see, well, what is our rule? What happened? And then figure out which rotation took place. So here are our coordinates. It looks like X and Y did switch places. And did any signs change? Looks like the X sign changed. So which one of those is that a rule for? 270 degrees. So it rotated 270 degrees.